Week 6 of the fantasy football season. Here's a few quarterbacks that have his sleeper options this week. First quarterback, Daniel Jones of the New York Giants. Daniel Jones, believe it or not, the last few weeks he's had 20 or more fantasy points the last 2 out of 3 weeks. This week, a good matchup versus the Bengals. We know their defense can't stop anyone. Is Cincinnati this season. Secondary getting torched. Quarterbacks going out there having huge performances. And we've seen it over the last couple weeks. Week 3 of Cleveland for Jones, 236 pass yards, 2 touchdowns, 20 rush yards. Week 4 versus Dallas, 281 pass yards, an interception, 3 rush yards. And then last week at Seattle, 257 passing, 2 touchdowns, and 38 rushing yards. So Daniel Jones, he's going to get you anywhere from 3 to 5 points minimum weekly, most weeks on the ground. And Cincinnati gives up the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. His running ability, I think Daniel Jones is a solid sleeper this week. Next quarterback, Andy Dalton of the Carolina Panthers. So Dalton, he's been on the sleeper list a lot this season for this Carolina Panther team over the last few weeks. I know last week it was a bad game for Dalton at Chicago, 136 pass yards, an interception in that one. But week 3 of Vegas, a monster performance, 319, 3 touchdowns. And then week 4 versus Cincinnati, 220, 2 touchdowns, and interceptions. So Dalton, he's got decent weapons. Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard out of the backfield. Xavier Legette, he's been a decent prospect coming in this season. And the Atlanta Falcons do give up the 18th most fantasy points to quarterbacks on the season. So in deeper leagues and 2 quarterback leagues, I think Dalton could be a sleeper, and he's out there in 89% of fantasy leagues. And the third and final quarterback, this is really a deep league guy. So Rattler of the New Orleans Saints. Rattler's getting the start for this New Orleans Saints team, out there in 97% of fantasy leagues. And this offense has a lot of good weapons, obviously. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill. We don't know if he's going to play in this one or not, but it's looking like he's not going to play in this ball game. But Rattler, the weapons are there, like I said. Shaheed, one of the best deep ball threats in all pro football this season. Olave, we know, can run all the routes and make the plays, even though his numbers have been up and down. Also, I could see you going the other way, where Tampa Bay just tees off in this one. But if you need a guy with some intrigue and possibly could surprise, Rattler's a sleeper this week. That's a few quarterbacks. I have his sleepers for week 6 of the fantasy football season.